Hi, my name is Coco Fernandez, and I'm a certified master farrier. Um, I've been shooting horses for the last 16 years here in United States. Um, I probably doing average of 250 horses a month. In 16 years, there's about 192,000 hoofs that I have trim and take care of. Shoe, trim, both. So this is just my experience. There's many different ways to trim a horse. As we know, this is my way, the way I do it, and the way I learn, and I've been doing it for the last 16 years. Um, I've been trimming a lot of national champions, um, like Me Amo Peru, Ventarrones, Tabernero, Norte y Sur, Rojizo, etc., among many others. So this is my experience that I want to show you, and I hope you enjoy it. The pattern of here I want to show you with this model. I want to show you the danger of the underslung heel. Here we have a hoof that this is the heel part and this is the toe. So I have a tendon here. This will be the suspensory tendon, suspensory apparatus. So what happened when we have these long heels and we want to grow these heels longer? When I put the load of the horse right there, I don't need the tendon to support the weight of the horse. It's being supported by the hoof. But then what happened? I'm gonna add this. This is what the hoof is gonna grow in 4 to 6 weeks. So what happened if I want to grow this heel? Just like that. Look now the tension of the tendon. The weight is being supported by the tendon, not by the hoof. The hoof can support this weight with this angle of heel, underslung heel. So we trim the hoof and look the difference. We don't need that tendon to support that weight of the horse. So that's why I want to show you this way, just pure physics of what happened when we want to grow and underslung. Okay, now I got rid of that sole. Now I want to trim that wall a little bit. I want to back up my heel. And finished product. Here we have the same, the same kind of challenge, or the same kind of way. First I clean the clit. Then I clean the bars. See, the bars are pretty thick. Then I clean the saw. So I have like all this wall is flaring out, so we need to control it, take care of it. So first, where my saw meets the wall, see how much wall is hanging out? I just want to meet them right there. Trim my heel at the widest part of the frog. See, here we have the old frog coming off and the new frog coming in there. So I'm just going to clean it. See how thick these bars are. This is a very good example. So after cleaning the frog, clean the clet, make dirt releases. See how the bar, can you get a close-up here? This bar, this is the bar that I'm talking about right here. See these bars? Is a continuation of the wall. These bars needs to get out. So now we have a nice clean foot. But you see, going an angle again. You see those heels are growing forward. This heel is growing forward. It's not growing not 90 degrees to the ground or close to. It's growing really forward, as you see. So we need to cut this heel that is growing forward in order to give more support to the horse. So we got to trim the whole hoof. So first, I want to trim where the sole meets the wall. And then work my way back to this heel. You see, compare this heel, I back him up. I back the heel up. This heel still, the support is more forward than this. As more back I want to be for more support. Now we can trim just the wall. See, I'm trimming just the wall. I'm not sacrificing depth right there. If I go like that, if I nip right there, he'll be lame. I'm getting rid of just the wall. Now we level it up. And when you trim this wall to where the sole meets the wall, you gotta leave it a little longer because you're rasping after also. So you don't wanna be in the edge of the sole with the wall. Just leave it a little longer so you have the chance to level things up with the rasp and not sacrificing depth again. So that's the difference, the finished product. Perfect scenario. Here is the frog changing, the bars growing. See that bar? We need to get rid of all this. So clean the frog. See that bar? Need to get rid of that. Now clean the sole. So now once we clean the sole, we can meet in the sole with the wall. Backing up my heel. Same in the other side. Trim the excess wall, backing up the heel. And then we can level it up. So now I'm level. See how much toe I have there. We need to get rid of that toe. Again with your nippers, like that. Now we bring it forward and dress it out.
La esponjita, Raúl, por favor.
¿Dónde?
La esponja.
Gracias.
La que sabe, sabe.
This is a typical. ¿Está filmando ya?
Sí.
The typical example of underslung heels. Look how the heel is here. All the hoof grows forward. When the hoof grows, it doesn't grow to the ground, it grows forward. As you see, the angle here of the heel is growing forward. Look. Instead of being like that, it's like this. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to back those heels as much as we can and take that toe off, that wall, for breakover easier. We're trying to get the whole hoof back underneath the horse as much as we can because it grows forward. The more forward it grows, the more support we lose. So here, I'm backing up my heel. Okay, now my support is here instead of right there. The two difference, point of support. So same here, I want to back up the heel as much as I can. And trim that wall. Cabrón. So I back up my heel to the widest part of the frog. Hey, hey, to the widest. Este me va a morder, ¿no? No.
Este es el único que venía por la silla. So that's the difference.
¿Está grabando?
Sí, the importance of trimming the foals in the first 6 months of age is very important, because whatever you do in those first six months is gonna rule the conformation of the horse from the knee down. So what happened in these first 6 months? The foal, as we see in this picture, when he nurses, he adopts this position. It's a tripod, as you see. The two legs are spreading out in order for the foal to reach the udder. So that's the position that he adopts. So all the weight is in the inside of the hoofs. What makes all the pressure goes towards the inside. And if we don't trim those outsides of the hoof, then we're going to have an unbalanced hoof in the future and forever. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a pretty common scene when the babies are born until they're weaned, pretty much. This is the medial or the inside of the hoof, and this is the lateral or the outside of the hoof. If you notice, the inside is lower and the outside is higher. We're not level here. So what Mother Nature does is the horses están más secos. La que ves ya.
La sequedad, ¿no?
Sí,
¿Por qué está tan seco?
ya cambió el clima, pe.
Más jodido, ¿no?
Ah, no, pendejo, pe. Como cemento, weón. Está como se rompe, ¿no? Punching holes right there on my tips and my branches. California weather. See, when girls ask me what I do for a living, I do nails.
Yeah.
They're like, really? Pretty big nails.
Big nails.
Perfecto. Puta. ¿Eh?
Ah, no jodas.
Cuando está bien rough, se engancha con todo y... A ver.
No, pero es despacito, pero.
¿Ah?
Despacito.
Despacito.
dame una explicadita, pe.
So I'm gonna put in this wedge. With the shoe backwards. Now I'm putting the wedge to lift up a little bit the angle. I still got the support on the back, the quick brake cover on the front. Esto no lo filme. Puta, me encantó cuando me dijo que no tenía experiencia aún.
¿Quién?
Lisa, esa es una buena veterinaria. Oye,
¿Cómo que no tenía experiencia?
la esponjita se la llevó.
Porque no tiene experiencia haciendo eso.
Ah. Me dijo no la quiero cagar.
Claro, que están juntitos ahí también, pues yo los vi en la tele.
Claro, yo también. Y él me dijo Ed Hammer tiene más experiencia que yo. Él es más agresivo que yo. Me gustaría que él lo haga, me dijo.
Claro.
Perfecto. Y los de donde llevé a mi hijo me recomendaron él también. Me dijeron puta, con Ed del capo.
¿Y cuánto crees que te cuesta hacer reventar esa hueá?
No sé.
Puta madre, no me jodas.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to explain here how my way of how I trim a hoof for performance. To leave it barefoot so the horse can go to a show or can perform barefoot without shoes. Most of the time I hear that people complains about when the shoer comes and then they can ride a horse for a week or two because he's sore after trimming, and that seems normal to them. But in my book, you know how the way I do it, the horse should be more comfortable after I finish instead of sore. I do my horses, my show horses, a day before the show. So, and I have no complaints so far. I've been doing this for 16 years and I have no complaints so far. So I'm going to try to explain you what I do and how I do it and why I do it to make the horse better and not worse after trimming. So here we go. We're going to try to go through a few hoofs, a few trimmings, and explain you each one up. So here, I'm going to try to explain you why I do what I do. You know, what I trim, where I nip. The hoof is telling me, or the hoof is going to tell me where needs to be trimmed. I'm not design myself. The hoof is the one that tells me where needs to be done. So first I'll clean my clit here. Clits are these two holes. Then the second step, I need to pare my sole in order to see how much wool I'm gonna take out. So first I pare my sole. Including the bars. These two bars are an extension of this wall. As you notice, the wall comes here and then goes in. I'm going to explain what the bars are for and why we need to trim them. So why I want to do this, why these bars needs to be flushed with the sole when I trim the sole. If you see here, there's the two bars. This is the inside of the hoof, and this is the two bars. These two bars. So that frog, it's holding, it's laying on top of these two bars like this. So the hoof, when hits the ground, expands. It's opened up. And the bars will open up enough to open the frog, the sensitive frog, and filled up with blood. When the hoof gets off the ground, the hoof contract, the bars make the frog contract, and it'll push the blood up the leg. So expand, fill up with blood, takes off, squeeze the blood up. So that's why it's so important. If you notice here, these two bars are too grown compared to this. So what happened when the bars are too grown is not going to allow the hoof to expand enough to work, to fill up with blood. So we don't have good circulation in this hoof if we don't trim these bars. So I'm just gonna clean the tips. I'm gonna make dirt releases in my frog. Just cleaning these two tips. And actually the frog will shed twice a year. The frog shed twice a year. So at some point you're gonna see that part of the frog is missing, or the frog is missing. Don't worry about it. The new one is pushing the old one out. So then what I need to do here, if you notice, the hoof is concave. It's not flat. It's concave. And that's what I want to keep it that way. But I want to get rid of excess wall. So what I do, how I do it, I try to cut where the sole meets the wall. Okay, this is the wall and this is the sole. So I'm going to try to nip where both meet. So I'm still going to have a concave hoof, and I'm going to get rid of wall like this first. Always I want to trim the heels at the wider part of the frog. So right there, I have still a concave foot. It's not flat, still concave. I got rid of wall. But now I have this toe that is too long. This toe I want to get rid of also. So what I do here, instead of doing this and sacrifice depth, if I do this, the horse is going to go lame. If I'm going to nip it that way to get rid of more toe. So what I do in this case, I place my nippers this way, and I'm just going to get rid of. So then I'm getting rid of this excess toe this way. So I'm not sacrificing any depth. I'm not going deep into the sensitive sole. I'm just getting rid of that excess wall to make the breakover easier. And I still have a concave foot. Now we're gonna dress it up. Espérate.
Eso lo vamos a cortar, ¿o no?
Claro. The hoof. So there we have a finished product. We have a trim hoof, still concave, and ready to go to a show. Ya, hacemos el otro. So we have a hoof here that has 7 weeks since last time we did him. And as you notice, the sole grow and is flat-footed. There's the bars are pretty long. See, this is the bar right here, and this is another bar. These 2 bars needs to be flushed with the sole when I trim it. So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my frog, the clay of the frog, make dirt releases, and then I'm going to pair up my sole. I'm going to take that old sole out. And then the hoof itself is going to tell me where it needs to be trimmed. I'm not going to decide where I want to nip here, here, here. I don't know. Every horse is different, and each hoof is telling me where I need to trim it. Every horse has his own needs, his own conformation, and we need to follow that. Otherwise, we get in trouble. So first, clean up my frog. Then I clean up the sole. Now, how much of sole we want to take out? Take all the flaky sole out until we get kind of live sole. We call it live sole. It's not sensitive, but it's live. It's not flaky, it's not an old sole. Now the hoof is telling me what I need to trim. So where I want to trim is where the sole meets the wall. Right there. I want to follow the sole up to the wall, and when it meets the wall, then I trim it. So I'm still going to have a concave foot, a concave hoof. I don't want flat hoof. When the hoof is flat, that's where the horse is walking on the sole, and it feels pain. It feels sensitive. You know, it gets more sensitive. So we still want to leave the sole concave, and then we're going to start nipping this wall, the excess of this wall, and the hoof is telling me where it needs to be trimmed. Está seco. So where I'm going to trim here, first I'm going to trim some wall, some depth of wall, like this, to where the horse will still walking on the wall. Trim that heel, the whole hoof. So now I have a concave foot, still concave, but we have a lot of toe here we want to get rid of. But if I go like this with my nippers like that, then I'm gonna get too deep into the sensitive sole and he's gonna be lame until it grows more. So I'm gonna get rid of this wall just like that. Position your nippers like that, 90 degrees to the hoof, and just get rid of some wall. Just on the toe, to make the brake cover easier without sacrificing length. So I'm still having a concave foot with a lot less toe, and that's pretty level, and that's how I want to trim a performance horse and leave it barefoot, so he can go on the trail ride, on the show, and still don't be sore. Oh yeah. So now we're gonna dress the hoof. So now we have a finished product. We got a nice looking hoof, natural and concave underneath. He shouldn't be sore at all. ¿Ya está? Here I want to show you the frog. It's shedding. Look. See, this is the old frog still attached and the new frog coming up. Usually you don't notice it. Usually this old frog will fall off and the new one is there and you don't even notice it. But here it's almost in the process of changing the old one for the new one. So we're gonna just deattach it, clean the new frog, clean the bars, clean the sole, and then we have a hoof ready to trim this wall. We're going to have to get rid of some of this excess wall here on the sides. But you see the new frog is coming out. It's already good and mature in compare to the other one that that just came off of that one. And if we don't catch it on time, we don't even notice that this happened. This happened twice a year. Usually happens in the spring to get ready for the summer, and in the fall to get ready for the winter. My sole and the wall meets right there. I don't want to trim more wall here. What I want to do is I want to get rid of these side walls, these flares. So here it is, still the hoof, still concave. The horse is walking on this sole, in this wall. The sole is concave, it's not touching the ground. Now we dressed up the hoof. And we have a finished product right there. No flares. It's short toe and concave. Here we have the same thing. We have a hoof that needs to be trimmed. First of all, I'm cleaning the clit of my frog. And if we notice, it's shedding frog also. This is the old frog, and the new frog, it's pushing up, it's coming up, it's maturing. It's not mature yet. So, because he flaps, I'm just gonna cut it right there. Make dirt releases. Then I'm gonna get rid of this sole. You see this sole? It's old, it's growing over. It grows and it grows over the new sole. This is the old sole, right there. So this is what I wanna clean first. See how it comes in chunks? It's not attached no more. Once I get it out of the way, I clean it up a little better. Make sure I clean the bars. So now if you notice, I have my sole trim up, and then I have the wall, which is a little bit too high. There's a little too much wall. So I'm going to try to nip my hoof where the sole meets the wall, right there. So the heel also needs to be trimmed at the wider spot of the frog, because the hoof grows forward, the heel grows forward. So the more forward you grow, the more off balance you are. So as well as all the wall, the heel needs to be also addressed. So now I'm rusting it level. I still have concave sole, but too much wall, very thick wall here in the toe. So instead of cutting it like that again, I'm just going to put my nippers perpendicular and get rid of some wall, just like that. You should trim it, you know, like quarter of an inch off that white line. So I'm still concave. The horse still walking on that wall, and I'm ready to bring it forward and dress it. So I'm making here a bordón or bumper. Bordón is in Spanish. And here I call it bumper. So there's no edge here. It's flat. Just 1/4 of an inch. You don't need to do it too much. Just a little bit. Just enough to where any stones or rocks is not gonna chip. It's not gonna catch an edge and chip it. So then we have the finished product right there. Good looking hoof, short in the toe, concave, good to go. You can compare it to the other one. We have the same length, same depth, but shorter toe. To make it break over a little easier, try to get him in good gating position and natural trim for good gating. So here I want to show you where I want my heels to end, where I want the support of my heel, where my heel ends. Okay? What happens if I grow the heel and the heel grows forward? It grows forward. The more heel I put on, or the more heel I grow, the worse I'm going to be, the more off balance I'm going to be, or support. See, this horse has pretty good short pasterns, which is healthy. That's good conformation. And where I want the heels to end. Why I cut my heels at the widest part of the frog. If you notice here, my heel ended up there. And if I get a straight line, I'm going to pass through that middle of this bone. Okay? That's what I want. The end of my heel, right there, to run through the middle of that cannon bone. Okay? So what happens if I grow this underslung heel? It grows forward. So now the heel is not going to end up here. The heel is going to end up here as it grows forward. So look, I'm off that line that I want to be. I'm not running through the middle of that cannon bone. I'm off the cannon bone. So you got to be really careful on what kind of heel you want to grow or not. Okay? I want always the end of my heel to run through that middle of that cannon bone. That's the support I want. Otherwise, we don't have the support. The posture is going to pull down because there's no support here. So if there's no support here, this posture is going to go down and it's going to pull the suspensory ligament and the superficial and deep flexor tendon and etc. All that suspensory apparatus is going to suffer if I don't have the support that I need to achieve soundness on a performance horse or on any horse.
Dale.
So here we have another hoof that is shedding frog. As you notice, the frog is coming loose. The new frog it's in their way. And we have these soles that are are chipping there, flaking off because it's time to trim. So first, get rid of that floppy frog, make dirt releases. Now get rid of this also. See this bar? I want to trim that bar. I want to get rid of that bar.